The nicest sim racing design all in one video, from sim racing coffee tables to slick Italian rigs. Caress your eyes right here, right now.
Greetings Romies and welcome to Rum, the channel sharing the joy of sim racing, and to our extra news videos about the Sim Racing Expo 2023. This is the third video because we had so much content and so much to say, and we heard so many things, so many interesting things. My name is Serta and I will be your host for this video, but Cody's behind the camera and Ike is, I think, filming at Fanatec.
The idea is as simple as it comes. Have a ready-to-race sim rig that can be hidden in plain sight. For example, as a coffee table in your living room or as a plant stand. The idea for Coffeeracer came out of necessity. Arnaud, the founder of the company, didn't have much time or place to sim race, but he still wanted to now and then. He built the prototype for himself without any commercial intent, and after moving a couple of times and making his design better every time, friends started asking him about it and wanted to have one of their own. This is the moment any clever business person notices there may be a market for your tinkering. He went and made Coffeeracer out of it. This brings a high WAR with it, as it can be used as a normal coffee table in front of your sofa or at the side of a couch while not in use, and can be set up in less than 30 seconds. Or as Arnaud says,
before your system is booted, everything is set up.
Which, as you can see, is true. We drove a few laps on the Coffeeracer, and the most difficult thing was to get your feet in there, as it's quite a confined space. Not that I suffered or anything, but I'm accustomed to more space in my rig at home and therefore had to fiddle a small bit. Once seated, the Coffeeracer felt strong and sturdy, even as I mistreated it as far as possible to know its boundaries. The Coffeeracer didn't budge. Getting out of the Coffeeracer was again a bit fiddly, but all in all, the driving with it was a pleasurable enough experience. It's a clever solution to a common problem, and if you are a rally or rallycross driver, it even has an expansion for shifter and handbrake. At €500 for the entry-level Coffeeracer, which, all other things being equal, does not look as good as the other Coffeeracer rigs, it may be enough to get the job done. While it costs more than a standard wheel stand or entry-level movable rig, you can unpack and pack it easily. It gets out of sight quick, and as we said, the WAR is big on this one. Bear in mind the cheaper solution can only withstand 8 Nm torque. For stronger bases, you'll have to go to the model that costs €700. On the other hand, other movable rigs tend to have problems with anything going further than 8 Nm, and this will still be a movable rig. The highest tier option, the one that looks best, ends up costing €1,200, which approaches the price of a fixed rig, if you have the space to set up one, of course. For the future, they are thinking about supporting a really big torque system over 18 Nm and looking at ways to have the Coffeeracer as the basis for a flight simulator. This rig is especially a good idea for the casual racer who does a race a week or less, or races on console in a living room and does not want or need a big setup. More hardcore sim racers may not like having to set everything up every time, and of course, while you can set the Coffeeracer up quite well and keep the position of pedals and wheel system in place as you set them up, it will never be the same as having your own fixed rig setup. Even compared to movable rigs, it's more fiddly to get in and out of, but on the other hand, especially the models for €700 and up are more rigid and can withstand higher torque than other movable rigs, and at the end of the session can be used as a, well, coffee table. Although Ike and I got the impression they could end up as part-time cat beds, which is also a nice use of space and table.
So Romies, I'm sitting on one of these one of these Coffeeracer systems. So we heard the price, it's 700, no, it's, what was it, 600, 700, 1,200. It's the price of a rig, but this Coffeeracer idea has the plus that you can put it all together. You have one of these seats and that's it. You can have it in the middle of your living room, and if you don't have space, you can have it anywhere, having stuff on top of it. And you saw it in like, what was it, 30 seconds? It was set up. So for the more casual sim racer, like not people like me, like Cody, like Ike, who are 2, 3, 5 times a week on their rig, this is a great idea. Because if you are, as I said, a casual sim racer who maybe hasn't been racing for a month, but now you get the itch, these can be very nicely on one side, in your living room or even in your office, and then you turn it out and can go racing. It's quite sturdy. I tested it on Zandvoort in one of the setups that they have here with 12 Newton meters, and it was immovable. Like, I was jumping up and down just to have it suffer, and it did not move a bit. So this is very interesting, especially for the casual sim racer. People who are 5 days a week on their sim rig are gonna buy something sturdier, something that they can have in their cave and so on. But I think for that price, considering also the WCF that you already heard a couple of times, it's a very, very interesting idea.
SimRep, specialized in all things RIM, is an engineering company that handles their products accordingly. And if you know your way around a Phillips screwdriver or a hex screwdriver, you for sure can have a lot of fun with all their products. Their flagship, also concerning the price, is the Cosworth RIM. While it's designed by Cosworth, the electronics are done by SimRep, and to control the display you'll have to use SimHub seems to have become the standard for almost every RIM maker out there. But if you want to make it part of your RIM collection, you'll have to sell a lot of kidneys, as the price is a whopping €7,900. SimRep know this wheel is not for the casual racer, and we expect they also know their price is not for the faint of heart. But they told us there's a world champion who just pre-ordered one. And I don't think they meant Palou. Also, IndyCar and Formula 1 teams are interested, as the form is the same as in those open wheelers, or at least near enough to the real thing, and as you can program every button and display to fit the real ones, it will give the sim experience a level of consistency between sim and reality that helps drivers train better, which they will be able to do from December on. Wide more affordable is their consumer flagship RIM, the P9XX. It's completely made by SimRep with SimRep parts, with all buttons having a nice click to them, with a good feeling even when you are wearing gloves. The rotaries also having a great tactile feedback, be it the plastic ones at the front or the metallic ones at the sides. After 2 years of design, prototyping, corrections and hard work, they were finally able to bring it to the Expo with a starting selling price of 1,800 up to almost 2,200 euro, as you can buy it without shifters and add shifter pedals from another company. You can even choose which quick release hub you want. Either Fanatec or Acetec are available directly from SimRep, but if you're not all thumbs, you should be able to mount any other quick release hub on the market. Because the RIM is made 100% with SimRep parts, anything that breaks after warranty can be repaired by the user using SimRep parts. According to them, the RIM is built in a way you can open it up in 3 minutes to get to any part that needs repair. See if you can do that with your iPhone. Moving from big to smaller, they also brought a display, the DDU-XX1 Sim Dashboard. At the moment only available for pre-order and expected to start shipping in January, it has a very precise price of 301.29 euro. With an aluminium casing, glass at the front and carbon mounting brackets, it sure is made to last a long while. Needless to say, it can be configured with SimHub. They also promised that anybody who had a problem mounting it on their wheel system could address that problem to them, so you could find the solution together. Going even smaller, they also brought a display that adventurous souls may add to their Thrustmaster wheel. While by far not as detailed as the DDU XX1 dashboard, it only costs a third of that one. You'll see your RPMs thanks to the LEDs, you can see your speed and the gear you're in. Again, you have to know your way around a screwdriver, the tool, not the long drink, and around SimHub, but once it's on the rim, you just need to connect it to your computer via USB and you have hacked your Thrustmaster. We ended our visit to the SimRep booth with the smallest and cheapest components you can buy from them. Because if you're a tinkerer, like our own Ike is, you won't need or want their complete solutions, but will only buy the components to add to your own 3D design. They produce and sell aluminium side rotary knobs, front rotary knobs, push buttons and cables, as well as wheel hubs for you to fiddle around at your leisure and build your own wheel. As a company that started because they themselves had a need and then noticed they shared that need with others, they have made their passion into their business and sell most needed components with the aim to offer the best quality possible at those prices. A detail for all you tinkerers, all the systems they sell are Arduino compatible, but they are already developing their very own sim racing mini computer. Watch this space for more info. One thing we can tell you right now is they are working on a button box and a flag panel that may see the light latest in the next Sim Racing Expo, and we'll be there to enjoy them. SimRep is an engineering company that sure has something for everyone.
This video was made possible by our patrons. Become a patron at patreon.com/romrom. Amongst other perks, becoming a patron will fix your name for posterity, like this. But you'll also be able to participate in our podcast recording, get to know what we plan and what we're doing, and will be able to take part in our decisions. A big thank you to our patrons. If you come here often, please consider subscribing. Sabelt, a name you may know best for making safety equipment for real-life race cars, showed up to Sim Racing Expo in a major way. They've exploded onto the sim racing scene with 3 new rigs supported by an expansive ecosystem of accessories and customization options. As you can see here, they all look sharp with a sandblasted matte gray finish, pops of color, and a 15-degree tilt that matches the slant of their logo. That's Disegno Italiano for you. The rigs are divided into the S, P, and X series. The S series is the GT-style cockpit that has you seated upright. The P series is their formula-style offering and sits quite low, as is to be expected. These two are fairly straightforward, but the X series is more of an odd duck. It sports the same chassis as the S series, but it's marketed as being for road applications, like rally and drifting. The seat is bulkier than the S series, and its profile looks a lot like the Porsche 911 GT3 racing seat that they brought out for display at Sim Racing Expo. The X series also features an inverted pedal mount, which does not show up on the configurator for the S or the P series, at least not yet. Sabelt was also testing a haptic feedback system at the Expo that was built into the S-Series seat. We tried it, and it needs a little bit more fine-tuning before it's ready for prime time, but it is definitely promising. Having sat in all 3 cockpits, we can say that their experience creating real-world racing seats has really paid off. These are the most comfortable racing sim seats we've ever put ourselves in. The seating position for all 3 seats feels ergonomic, for us taller folks especially, and the cushions are plush but supportive. The shoulder supports on many racing seats and gaming chairs, for that matter, can round the back and feel constricting. But these allow even the most broad-shouldered drivers enough room to have good posture. If you are into endurance racing like I am, and tend to spend hours and hours sitting behind the sim racing wheel turning laps, well, the comfort of these seats makes Sabelt a very attractive option to consider. For each of the 3 series, you have the choice of a smaller or larger chassis. The differences between them lie mainly in the thickness of the 80/20 profile, some length, and €242 more for the larger version. Sabelt's website promises no vibrations on the larger chassis due to its added heft, but does not make the same promise for the smaller one. However, The smaller one seems solid enough for most wheels and looks to be the way to go if you're on a budget or have space constraints. Sabelt's rigs can be configured with a shifter mount, a whole host of pedal mounts, several wheel mounts to fit whatever wheelbase you drive, and you can get either a rig-mounted or freestanding monitor stand in single, triple, or even quadruple monitor configurations. And Sabelt has made it clear they are here to stay. They have loads of other accessories, from PC stands and keyboard trays to branded gloves especially made for sim racing, and even water bottles. You can even get the iconic Sabelt seatbelt if you're so inclined. With all these options, the exact price is hard to pin down as it varies by what you want to get with it. The P-Series ranges from a bit over €1,700 for a serviceable entry-level configuration, all the way to €3,550 for a balls-to-the-wall ultimate setup. And the S-Series ranges from €1,550 for the base model to almost €3,600 for the baller build. Pricing for the X series is not yet available, but it'll probably be in the ballpark of the S and P series. You only know how much your configuration costs exactly by using the configurator on their website, which shows you the result in a computer-rendered image. The Sabelt rigs are definitely not for the extremely budget-conscious. Compared to SimLab, Get Closer Racing, and Next Level Racing's 80/20 profile options, even the entry-level Sabelt configurations are on the pricey side. But if you have the money to spare and want an attractive racing sim, entry into a wildly customizable ecosystem, and the most comfortable range of seats in sim racing, Sabelt is definitely an option worth considering.
My heart goes for Italy. I've spent a lot of time in Italy. I love the language, and of course I love their design. Sabelt come from motorsports into the world of sim racing and bring us Formula 1, GT3 and Rally, which is great. It's interesting, and I think the price is quite competitive at 1,000 to 2,000 euro. 1,000 for the beginner, 2,000 for the full-blown solution. Remember, they bring these seats. The seats are not exactly the same as in motorsport, but they are very much inspired by the world of motorsport, made for sim racers who spend longer time inside of the seat, and therefore great. Also, what I like, which is a part of why I love Italy, is this fantastic design. These are not just extruded and then put it sturdy. This is a thinking of, let's make it nice, let's make it wonderful. Race, but race in style, in Italian style.